As I have previously touched on the education system, I would like to delve into further detail on my opinion of it in this video. As I am in high school right now, I can only speak of my experiences in said system, but I do have hopes for a better life in the university system. I would firstly like to give out my positive thoughts about the high school system, in my country at least. One of them being the merging of countryside schools into the city schools. This can be good to reduce spending on unpopulated schools and concentrate knowledge in more modern areas. Unfortunately, this has the negative side effects of giving the people living in the countryside more costs in order to get to said education sites, which I do not know how to combat as of yet. And this is about as far as it goes for the major positives. As I am finishing the final class of high school right now, it can be said that it is absolutely a nightmare to find positive motivation to truly learn. In my program, one must complete a minimum of 4 exams, 3 of which are university level in terms of difficulty, and to even be able to take said exams, one has to successfully create an entry paper, which is the size of a full-out yearly project. Amidst these, we have several other classes with long-term projects that, if not successfully completed, will not permit you to finish high school. Forgive me for my rant, but it must be said that the education system in high schools as it stands right now is an absolute mess. In terms of learning, it is safe to say that none is done. One must memorize the information if one seeks success in this system, which after the test is done, for said information goes unrecalled in the future. In my belief, this is the greatest failure in modern education. Acceptance towards raining down information on students with no guidance towards applicability and expecting them to understand its importance in the real world. Throughout my experience in high school, I have thought out some possible solutions for said problem and would like to share them with you today. The first one is not much of a practical guide, but more of a reform on how we and the system view education and studying. It is in my belief that education and knowledge should be viewed as a sacred and fundamental part of our lives, not just sentimentally but judicially as well. What do I mean by this? If society and ourselves are to prosper, it is of utmost importance to upgrade and maintain our character and character first. Technology has progressed so fast that we strive towards enabling the greater masses towards being able to use it, but we must not forget the reasons for its usage in the first place. This reason, I believe, has not been collectively decided upon, which might be a reason for our troubles. The gift of reason for our minds has given us the ability to evolve outside of our genetically bound bodies and ascend our capabilities faster than ever, but this comes with a great risk. To give an absurd example, one does not give a baby a gun to protect itself. As a species, we must be careful with the usage of our newfound tools, especially in the modern day of age, in which medicine, transport, industrial production, scientific discovery and innovation in all fields has ascended, by my belief, past reasonable control. To get back to the point, I believe in order to not misuse our tools and not create ecological and societal disasters, we must find a purpose for ourselves as a whole and make it an official course of human life. One of the examples could be outer spatial travel and the ecological safety of this planet. This can be kept as a general goal for all of humanity and be a fuel and reason for progress itself. It can be said that things are being done already to achieve these goals, but my issue lies within the fact that there is no unity towards achieving it and no genuine large-scale care for it. I do not know how this can be achieved, but I believe it is crucial to consider it to be done nonetheless. The second solution goes into smaller and more practical aspects that ought to be looked into and changed, that being the actual curriculum. As it stands right now, it is way too spread out and packed with information that has no basis of knowledge how to apply it. This is especially disgraceful if the existence of the internet is acknowledged, for all of the information given to us is largely available on the internet as well, and with usually great guidance on how to understand it as well. We are essentially using up 5 whole days of the week for most of the year to cram as much information into our brains as if we were a hard drive, with no sense on how or why this information ought to be applied. It must be said that, at least in my country, the job of a teacher is heavily underpaid and undervalued as a whole. This leads to a decreased motivation for the teachers themselves to teach diligently and with respect, which is just a cherry on top of the shit cake we have been enjoying for far too long. I had almost forgotten the arguably biggest problem with the current curriculum, the grading system. God forbid one makes mistakes in this day of age while learning. If one dares to do so, punishment in the form of denied future career and social options are to be awaited. How have we come to accept this? I believe the answer to be a simple case of complacency and convenience. The original class-based school system was designed to create more workers for the business industry, so it can be argued that the education system works just well, but it would be ridiculous to entertain such, as the original premise is wrong by its nature in the first place. I believe for hope to be restored, education must be reformed into a pure pursuit of knowledge and the ways to apply it. This can be a feasible task, for technology has leveled up to such a height that it can give us a base of survival without much input. I believe if we establish this baseline across the world for everyone, we can finally look onwards towards a collective progression. To sum up my ramble, first, a common goal for all of humanity must be established. The education curriculum and its issuance must be reformed and become more one-to-one focused, efficient and understandable in the aspects of purpose of the information. Altogether, education ought to be truly valued as one of the greatest achievements of mankind and respected as such.